What's up, chat? How we doing? Welcome to the next live stream. We've got the detailed facts everybody's looking for. I can see a lot of great questions popping up in the chat already. What's up, John Lowe? This guy's saying, I didn't even realize I was subscribed. You got to support this channel because we're jumping over the audio video nerds. Setting up this from an audio video standpoint takes an education itself. Thus, people with a lot of trading experience don't have the time and energy to invest in it. Hence, another reason why you want to support this channel. And we're going to unveil research. I want to bring up the first question here by R. Hamas. He says, I keep hearing there's a connection to Coinbase, but I just want to see the facts and the action. That's an excellent point. And we're going to bring up all the juicy details that connect Kaspa not only to Coinbase, but to so much more. In order to get the Coinbase listing, it's a lot like you remember in the secret sauce videos. Yeah, Powell could just step up and cut the rates. But that's not going to stimulate an economy. Actually, things need to be taking place behind the scenes, particularly stable coins on Kaspa, in order to really get that top of the tier listing like a Coinbase. And Coinbase, on top of all of the exchanges out there, is the coup d'etat. That's the crown jewel. Why? Because it opens Kaspa up directly into the American markets. Exchange listings are a crucial aspect for market makers and team players behind the scenes. Why? We're looking at the Bitcoin chart right here. We haven't even popped open Kaspa yet. Back here, this was when we were talking about ETF news. So what was going on behind the scenes? Market makers like BlackRock were scooping up loads of Bitcoin, and they used an exchange listing on Coinbase to create a gamma squeeze. You guys remember, I believe it was January or February, right around here, all of a sudden, Coinbase is now offering Bitcoin futures, opening a door to the American markets. Now, a gamma squeeze, the exact opposite of a short squeeze, the way that that works is every 24 hours, the position has to be balanced. So you've got a 10x leverage trade and you're up significantly. The market makers rebalance that equation in a 24-hour period. You don't own 10 times that immediately at all. And that causes more buying pressure. So you could easily say BlackRock facilitated a gamma squeeze on Bitcoin right here. All they had to do was use the US market futures on Coinbase, bring in that added volume, and then obviously everybody starts leverage trading Bitcoin. The ETF news is out, and it causes this massive skyrocket. Did we see this on Kaspa? Using hindsight, we know Marathon Digital's already in. They started mining, accumulating loads of ASICs here. Binance, after CZ was overthrown, kind of being controlled by the US government. That's a rumor around the water cooler. They initiate a gamma squeeze using Binance. Remember that? Boom. Now Binance futures are going, and that picked up right here. So it was already rocketing. They start the Binance futures, and it just extends even farther, ramping to the upside. Right now, the writing's already on the wall. We're going to get out of charts, and we're going to get into research deep dives, such as starting with the Kraken homepage. The writing's already on the wall here. We don't have to put the puzzle pieces together like we're about to do for Coinbase. See, they're not just going to give us, oh, Marathon Digital's been mining Kaspa since September. They didn't let us know back then because they're busy bodies loading the bags. Only until recently did they announce that news. And exchange listings are such a powerful catalyst It's the number one catalyst behind Satoshi's secret that we covered in the last 2 videos. Looking on the Kraken homepage, this is their new listing page. Scroll down to the bottom. What do we see? They're getting ready to list Kaspa. Plain as day, right in front of everybody. It's going to Kraken. This is good. This is a step in the right direction. Binance, they're doing this zero fee mining pool right now. For your everyday retail, that's not a huge savings. With the zero mining pools, for Marathon Digital it's a savings so big that perhaps behind closed doors, we know that it cost $1 million to get these tier 1 exchanges. Perhaps this is some deal that they brokered, we're just speculating here, to get the fees up to get these tier 1 listings, because somebody's got to have the cash. And remember, Kaspa is just a commodity. So as we start getting into the utilization of stablecoins with the Rhubarb Media, the Casplex, as well as the KII, carbon credits, people were like, oh, Kaspa's doing carbon credits, I'm out. That's a scam. Kaspa's not doing anything. Kaspa's creating and solving the trilemma, creating a commodity. These other entities are using it to raise their already existing business models. Kim Jong-un could use Kaspa to keep track of his citizens. It's just a commodity, like gold was in the wiring of the atomic bomb. Everybody's always wondering about price with Kaspa. We covered a lot of this in detail in the secret sauce video, how to track that. It's important to recognize in this context with exchanges, because what if Kraken just listed Kaspa right now? It would be bad timing. We know we're in a temporary recessionary period, exactly like the prior 4-year cycle. That's Satoshi's secret sauce. He lined up the global world markets with the Bitcoin halving, genius level stuff. This is a secondary catalyst, in my opinion. The secret sauce is the number one driver, and these guys know all about them, the markets. So when things are going to start getting bullish, that's when we're going to start to see these exchange listings. And we'll look into the history of the recent AI listings that just took place. Remember the AI bull run just a few months ago? It's all correlated with overall market dynamics. So Binance, we've already got futures. We've got the zero mining fees. This is an example of filling in the puzzle pieces, reading in between the lines. They haven't directly said it yet, like they are with Kraken, but we can get pretty close. But for the coup d'etat, the Coinbase, we're going to put together this brilliant paper trail detailing everything out on how Kaspa was actually seed funded by a coin extension of Coinbase, a Coinbase off the books, if you will, known as Polychain Capital. So we're going to start off right on the book of Kaspa. This is chapter 2, and we're going to scroll down to, I think it's paragraph 8, and they start talking about where they got the money from. They got $8 million from, you guessed it, Polychain Capital. Now this is only half of their VC funding. There's another dark horse entity that we're going to bring up in a moment that has even more connections with USTD, even more connections with PayPal, which is what needs to happen behind the scenes. So we've got the connection to Polychain Capital. Let's just skip the scrolling. We all know they got $8 million from Polychain Capital. It's right in the book of Kaspa. We seem to have lost this. Let's just keep going down this rabbit hole. Who is this Polychain Capital? They're giving Kaspa all this money. Why didn't Coinbase just give them the money? Well, there's a lot of regulation taking place inside the United States. Jumping back to the Bitcoin chart, the full 1 day, because this is during the last cycle, a lot of regulation to protect retail investors came into play right here. It was exactly here in March of 2022. There was a relief rally and then a massive downside. And this, again, correlates with Satoshi's secret recipe as well. So a lot of regulations stepping in. Coinbase is seeing all of these, the XRP suits, everything like that. They've got, in my opinion, an off-the-books invest. Oh, we're not even looking at the Bitcoin chart here. Let's jump over to the Bitcoin chart. Excuse me. Look at the Bitcoin chart. It was right here in March 2022. That's when regulations started kicking up, more downside over. Getting back to our hardcore research here, detailed documents. We need to figure out who Polychain Capital is and what their connection to Coinbase Ventures is. This is a document about the leading venture capitalist firms. This is something that we study inside VIP. We have a list of the top 30. You can actually scroll using crypto rank. Forget about coin market cap. Use crypto rank. You can get new listings. As the day unfolds, you can see every project that just came onto the market. How to vet them and when to take place in new listings is another thing. And we'll get into that with AI in a minute. Coinbase Ventures, let's click down to here. Frequent co-investors. That means that these guys are sharing a bag. Polychain Capital. So positions that Polychain Capital own, guess who owns a piece of them as well? Coinbase Ventures. Here's an interesting point. Going back to the book of Kaspa, yes, they had rebranded Kaspa. It was originally called BlockDAG Ventures, which also makes more connections with Quitmire, which was, in my opinion, the KII's first attempt to create a BlockDAG. So this is where we really start to find a lot of information when we go to Polychain Capital. What's going on with Polychain Capital? Who are these guys? You've probably heard of them with Tau. They're the ones who seed funded Tau. They're the ones who gave BlockDAG, a precursor to Kaspa, $8 million. Jonathan Saplinsky and his team. Polychain Capital, they share a bag with Coinbase, and they were founded by a gentleman named Olaf Carlson Wee. He used to be, you guys have all seen this movie Margin Call? He used to be this guy right here, the head of risk department. So inside Coinbase, we've got the smartest people in the world. These guys are hand-selecting top-tier talent. I'm in $1 million condo on the Vegas Strip. I'm rubbing shoulders with guys that go to the World Economic Forum. I just had a coffee interview with a guy who speaks on CNBC, trained in Harvard, like masterclass in knowing Soshi's secret sauce, how the markets work. These guys actually were starting to tell me about one of our 24-point reports that isn't listed yet. So there's still another round of listings. Not all the projects aren't even out yet. There's going to be more. So if you guys are like new, you just got in, you're like, oh man, I missed everything. You haven't missed anything yet. You're not late. Some of the projects aren't even on board yet. So anyway, Coinbase has these guys, like the guys I got to have coffee with the other day, smartest guys in the room, trained by professionals. They're the master class. And so this character is Olaf Carlson Wee. And he starts Polychain Capital in 2016 because they share a bag with Coinbase, as we can see highlighted in this document. It's almost a way for Coinbase Ventures to have investments off the book, away from Gary Gensler and all the regulations that really started clamping down here to protect from retail investors. Ultimately, knowing this alone, how close Coinbase is, shows their interest in listing Kaspa, but first they have to get the job done. Just like Powell can't step up and say, well, we're going to cut rates down to 0 tomorrow and watch this, the stock market's going to rally. It's much more complex than that. The businesses that are using Kaspa, as well as the Kaspa team, Jonathan needs to come out with those smart contracts. Casplex, Ice River, Rhubarb Media, and the KII, they need to start utilizing Kaspa in their business model to enhance the stable coins, because that's where it's all coming down to. Looking at this diagram, we're going to get into the dark horse VC right now. Most people don't even know about this VC firm exists, and they're the ones with all the ties to PayPal, Visa. Right now, corporations are starting to put stable coins on their books for cross-border payments. It's just the better tech. We already know that. You can jump over so many hurdles. Paying a lumber mill in Africa from the United States, New York City, sending that money regularly, you're going to get raked paying fees, crossing borders, and it's going to probably take 3 weeks to get the cash there. We can all see how that would work, even as laymen's. Oh, they'll just send you USTD. So Visa's all over this, and so is PayPal. They own tons of USTD, and that's where Kaspa's connection to these two, PayPal as well, comes in through their dark horse VC investor. These guys are known as Yes Capital. They're based out of Berlin, Germany. They do tons of interesting projects. Quant, with the banking, everything that Quant was supposed to be, Kaspa has become. This is like a test launch for Kaspa, in my opinion, with better technology. ArcBlock, this was done by Yes Capital. These guys are based out of Berlin, Germany. They're right around where the new EU is, the dollar, rubbing shoulders with central banks. But this is the coup d'etat of their portfolio. Reserve rights. This is the huge connection to PayPal, putting Kaspa at the table with them. So what's going on with reserve rights in PayPal? PayPal invests in reserve rights. It's a stable coin, and it has some sort of a stable coin liquidity. I haven't researched reserve rights that deep. PayPal gets invested in it. They own a majority float position in reserve rights. The entire narrative of reserve rights is it's to help business entities in a third world country escape their collapsing fiat. It's a parachute for them. So with these lumber mills, with these precious mineral mining, things like that, businesses that are taking place and popular in third world countries, creating boom towns, they need a way to protect themselves from their local fiat. And PayPal has been secretly onboarding this. And of course, behind it all is Yes Capital. And they've also seed funded Kaspa. This is an Alex Becker pick. Remember when the artificial intelligence boom was taking place? Just a few months ago, anything was AI, was rocketing to the upside. Using CryptoRank.com. We're not going to load it up on this computer because it can crash the screen. Just go to CryptoRank.io. Never use CoinMarketCap again. This tool, you can filter everything that just got listed that day. You can do only meme coins. You can do only AI coins. You can see right on there who are the VCs. It's the coin market cap that you actually want. And we have details on how to use it correctly with new listings all over VIP, as well as iComb for these gems right alongside you guys. So this was an interesting example to bring into light because Alex Becker did a call out for it one day after our VIP group got it. So it passed the screening process of a new listing, and we knew about this 24 hours before it was even on the market. So it was a not listed coin. We knew it was about to get listed, so we had some time to look over the documents. It wasn't one of those things that you need to, oh, quick, press the button in 15 minutes or your chance is over. So we're looking it up over the night. We start to see, yeah, people are like buying into this. There's huge buyers, 50K in the book. We go for the buy signal, and then a day later, Alex Becker calls it out, and it rockets to the upside. This is Heroes of Mavia. This is a GameFi project. When it was listed new, look at the upside. Remember how rocketing to the top this went? One of the things we have inside VIP is these 24-point reports. This one's on Spectral. We're going to talk about Spectral because it's also VC'd by Polychain Capital, the same guys who did Tau and Kaspa. We found an up-and-coming listing that's not on the exchanges yet. While I was having this coffee meeting with the guys from Harvard, the guys who speak on TV for crypto, they own exchanges. These guys are electrical engineers who helped put together the first ASICs for Bitcoin. They're trying to teach me about the pick we've already got. They were like, oh yeah, this is going to be the best one. Have you heard about this? And I was like, yeah, I heard about it. So we have a full 24-point report going over every detail. It's our only GameFi 24-point report. It's that good. We scan through every GameFi using CryptoRank.com to figure out which one was the best. 40% of all GameFi games are first-person shooters. Our recent call out inside VIP, when the Bank of Japan crashed the market, everybody's like, what should we swing trade? This particular GameFi is not only good because the bullets have bullet time, they move in slow motion like in the Matrix movie, and I guess the gamers like that. It's a higher quality product. This is testing in Asia right now. It's going to move over to the United States and have its bull market. Thus, obviously, it's going to be severely affected by the Bank of Japan carry trade. So we start planning buying this as a swing trade right here, like 18 hours after we started planning, it just dumps. Now everybody's like, now we're like, yes, load up the bag right now. We did an add-on here right around 70 cents, and now it's still rocketing to the upside. And if the BOJ steps back in, there's a good chance to take profit and maybe try this one again. Our other swing trade, Spectral. So we started planning here to buy under 520, and it bounced back very strong. It was one of the top 5 best swing trades off the Bank of Japan crash for 10 million market cap and up. The reason why Spectral is such a powerhouse is because they are directly connected with the secret sauce that Satoshi put together, as well as Coinbase Ventures. What do I mean by the secret sauce? The way that we found Kaspa originally, at the bottom of that cup formation, right when Kaspa was at not its all-time low, but a relative low, there was an FOMC meeting. Let's jump over to this FOMC chart. Right here. Guess what the rest of the market was doing? It was crashing. And this is all based around a catalyst that has to do with Satoshi's secret, which is the bond markets. Looking at the total 3 right there, these are the dates. Okay, where's June 1st? Right here, June 1st. So we're moving sideways and then upward around a pivotal bond market date. Looking at the total 3, here's June 1st. We're dropping off the edge of a cliff with the same catalyst. This shows us, and this is going to be connected to one of the reasons why we really like Spectral, besides the research that we did. This shows us a bond sensitivity. The money, the market makers, the big players, the real money that's moving price around, they get out and trade around FOMC meetings, and they're reactive based on their projections, based on what that old guy Powell says on television. He's not up on every channel. Everybody's not talking about him because he's handsome like George Clooney. He controls the risk on markets. And you can go to college to study how deep this rabbit hole goes. When you start trading around it and also selecting projects around it, you get a huge advantage. We were able to do the 10x leverage trade call out here, open VIP here, cold storage buy alert here, 7x, 10x leverage trades at 12.5, 13.3. Those all survived the Bank of Japan carry trade. All of this based around an understanding of Satoshi's secret sauce. Spectral, very reactive to bond markets. And as you dig into what's going on behind the scenes, you can't find Spectral on CoinMarketCap. They just won't list it. It's all part of the marketing plan. That's down the road for roadmaps. Right now, larger power players are loading up on Spectral. This is a great question by Beebs. Do you think we will see Kaspa on tier 1 or tier 2 listings before the end of 2024? And you know what this all comes down to, right, Beebs? The secret sauce. It all comes down to the bond markets. Let me pull this up. It's all going to come down to this and what Powell says, as well as in part, how fast the Kaspa team can put everything together to create more of a demand in stable coins, tying together all the VCs with the PayPal connections. So Rhubarb Media's got to step up, start creating those meme coins. Let's get into the secret sauce more. This holds all the answers to crypto right here. This is the game genie. This is the 1-year bond market. That's why that old guy's on TV, he's talking about how much yield these 1-year bonds are going to get. And they have 2-year, 10-year, 5-year, all kinds of different bonds. Check this out. February 20th, 2020, it drops like a cliff. And then remember this date too. July 1st, 2022. Jumping over to the Bitcoin chart. Let's put those 1 year after that cliff drop, because those are 1-year bonds. Look at what happens. Rocketing to the upside. The all-time low, right parallel with when they start hiking the rates back up. It's all interconnected. This is showing us Jane and Jump Street, BlackRock, where their money's at. Their money right now, Beebs, is in these extremely high yield treasury bonds. They're getting 5% compound interest. So if you got $20 million, that's an extra million, and they've compounded it now for 2 years plus. And when this giant bubble of cash, when Powell starts cutting rates, you're going to see him on TV in a couple weeks, and he's going to say, I'm going to cut rates by 25 points or 50 points. That's going to bring the yield down. That's going to put money out of that and into crypto. So the faster they can fix the jobs, the faster the economy starts heading in the right direction, the faster Powell can get this chart to go back to the downside to create one of these. The teams that are involved with the listings, they all know more about this than even we do. They have trained experts who went to Harvard in this study. That's when they'll start doing the tier 1 listings. And there's also some of how far along the Kaspa team is coming and the businesses that are using it. So it's all running parallel with that. I would say early 2025. That would be my best guess based on this information, just based on this chart and this data. January, February of 2025. And that makes a great add-on catalyst to the January effect. Looking back at just Bitcoin. January is when all these big market maker companies, and that's one of the keys that we do inside our VIP is we're not just playing retail's hand. We're not just playing the crypto team's hand. We definitely take a look at what the market makers are doing. You want to figure out the cards they're holding and the plays they're going to make. As you can see in January, look, it's the January effect. And it's an added catalyst because they can start taking on risk. They have to show results to their shareholders. And they do this with a calendar involved. So January is an important day. I want to show you how the study of that bond market gave us like almost an uncanny call out in VIP. This is like next level stuff. See this spike? This is the total 3 altcoin market cap. We knew without a doubt on the 28th, possible quick spike on Kaspa, but then ultimately downside. We knew the exact date, not even using charts, that the altcoin market cap would turn to the downside. How? We just pulled up the Fed bond auction. They're selling these 5% bonds on the 28th of August, and we know Powell's about to start cutting rates. So guess what's going to happen? Jane and Jump Street and the market makers are pigging out. They're buying loads of it. And we want to remember this date because what's going to happen a year from now? Those bonds that they're pigging out on are going to unlock. And that liquidity is headed somewhere. And with the popularity of crypto plus the size of that bubble of cash, it's going to be a huge bull market. It's going to be off the chain, bigger than before. Everybody's expectations when they go to the market cap of, and they're like, show me ADA, show me XRP. You got to factor this in. We're talking, forget about the popularity of crypto. We're talking about like 2.5 times cash plus more yield as well and increased popularity. So this bull market is going to rip. When is the next pump? That's something that is, well, I mean, how big of a pump? Ultimately, we're waiting to break out of this repeating x-axis trend line. From a technical analysis standpoint, strangely enough, RTA method, the repeating trend line system, this doesn't exist in the stock market because stocks don't have halvings. They don't have emission cycles. Cryptos do. And this creates a massive ripple on the charts every 4 years. We all know that. That's why we're here right now. We got to jump over to the total 3 chart. We actually knew without a doubt it would bounce to the downside here, and these trend lines would hold it back. These are repeating trend lines. We can see this one in purple coming off of, it's the exact same trend line. And then this in the gold, you can clone this and it fits all around as a support. It's a repeating support right here. Knowing that there is rejection, and we're still, when the pump, well, we're still behind this purple trend line on the altcoin market cap. So quite a ways away before the monster breakout. And based on more fundamental stuff, depends on how much Powell takes off of, how many points he reduces it in the upcoming FOMC meeting. You guys all saw the market rip to the downside yesterday. The reason is because there was jobs numbers coming out that were looking like, oh, this is going to be difficult. Inflation might not be the problem. It's jobs. Making a parallel to that with Kaspa, showing how the team and the businesses using Kaspa have to step up and start producing. It's not just about calendar events taking place. Stuff has to happen behind the scenes as well before these exchanges even kick off. Well, this is a massive resistance line. And to get into the details of whether we're going to come up, bounce off it, jump over it, it's far more complex. And in order to give you an accurate description, I would need to show you more technical analysis videos, more indicators. We have all that stuff behind the paywall inside VIP. I'll show you guys what you get. It's really the best value. I checked out the other groups to see what's going on. Kaspa leverage trading plans. We never come up with a buy alert that's happening the same day. You're always going to get 24, 72, 30 days. We're always planning way ahead, waiting for it to come up and then getting on it. AI and altcoin plans, macroeconomics, the secret sauce. That's how we knew exactly on the 28th everything was going to turn to the downside. We've got documents showing bond auction, the pattern directory. Let's go inside the pattern directory. Combining regular classic patterns with the repeating trendline system brings them to an entire new level of accuracy. So right around as the Bank of Japan carry trade was starting to take place, we recognized, okay, we just lost momentum. This is a head and shoulder pattern forming. We want to start setting stop losses before there's more continuous downside. Combining regular technical analysis with repeating trend lines gives you a whole nother level of insight. So we have this repeating x-axis downtrend. You can see this exact trend line held the candle back here, here, the handle of the cup, the April breakout. It's the exact same trend line. We also find a support here. This is along the y-axis. We've all heard of symmetrical triangles before. A symmetrical triangle is almost like a thermometer for market sentiment. If it's a bullish market, it'll probably break to the upside. It has better odds statistically, the study of this pattern of breaking to the upside, hands down. If it's bearish sentiment in the market, the statistics change for this particular pattern. Other patterns like cup and handle, rising wedge, they're like a 90% guarantee that it's going to go in either direction. A symmetrical triangle is more of a coin toss type of pattern. And so we have to look at broader market dynamics. Using this y-axis support line in combination with the x-axis resistance, we can see multiple symmetrical triangles on Kaspa's chart. Remember what was happening here? It was the ETF news. So it was bullish. Therefore, combining the repeating trend lines together, we see this symmetrical triangle. The y-axis, the support, is going to have more strength because of the ETF news, and we got a break to the upside. What's happening right now? This was a recent VIP post. You can clean this up so it looks more like a triangle and less like a zigzag. We saw symmetrical triangle forming at an apex. Right when it was getting to the apex, we're like, this is it. And this one is going to break to the downside. Are we not even on the Kaspa chart? Jeez. Okay. Symmetrical triangles, repeating trend lines. Right here, using the x-axis, using the y-axis, symmetrical triangle forms right here, and it breaks to the downside. This same exact pattern here breaks to the upside. Why? Market sentiment. This was the Bitcoin ETF. This was that. So we've got enhancing classic pattern trading to another level by adding on repeating trend lines. We've got the new listing search. We've got watch lists for different market caps. all the trading plans. These are the origin trendline videos. So that repeating trendline system doesn't just work on Kaspa and the total 3, it works on everything. Classic pattern statistic videos and the 24-point checklist. How to vet any crypto with detail. This is how we found all those documents linking Kaspa to Polychain Capital to Coinbase. Even able to speculate that Marathon Digital would start mining Coinbase over a year ago, even though we thought that would be like 2030. To make the 24-point checklist even easier, you get 84 questions. You copy paste them, stick them into artificial intelligence, Super Chat GPT, or my favorite, Agent GPT. Check that one out. It's awesome. And then we have 7 full 24-point reports. This one's on Spectral. It's 7 pages, and that doesn't include the links. All this writing that's in blue, those are links. So this is like a 50-page report. If you read everything, use all the web tools we have on Spectral and why you want to buy it. So if you've got dry powder, if you're interested in researching, we've got all of these, the majority on AI, and the other one, while I was having coffee with the Harvard guys, they're trying to get me to buy one of our picks, our only GameFi pick, which is going to steal the show and completely crush Heroes of Mavia. It's going to be the one. Spectral is on CoinMarketCap. Good to know. This is new because it recently was not. So I guess that they've already added it there. That's good. Yep, I can see it right now. It is on there. Huh. As you dive into the research on Spectral, what's going on behind the scenes is this is the investment stage for people who are going to use the project. You guys know about Tau, right? With the subnets. Tau's a very complex project. Spectral's very similar. So right now, people are staking, and we're not talking retail. We're not talking layman. We're talking billion-dollar Silicon Valley coding language type of projects. They're jumping in. They're jumping in right now and loading the bag on Spectral so they can use the product and sell to retail, because this is going to create Super Chat GPTs and Agent GPTs. You guys, depending on how much you use AI, you know that there's agents. There's one that can help you fix a 1950s pickup truck. There's one that can help you garden. There's one that can help you do chemistry. Agents is the next step for artificial intelligence. So these billion-dollar companies are investing in Spectral right now. Later on the roadmap, which we pull up in the report, it shows they're going to start marketing it heavier only when that investment gets flipped around into products that retail can use. So down the road, everyday traders will be using Spectral agents to research meme coins, things along that line. So very early stage project, very high potential. We've got the full report on it. It's great stuff. So to sum it up, as the secret sauce, as the market starts to change around, the bond market gets more favorable, then the Kaspa team and the power players around Kaspa will know, okay, it's time to start initiating the listings. Starting with Kraken, Binance, they haven't out loud said it like they have on Kraken. I mean, this is plastered over. Binance, the next best thing. They've got the zero mining pools. They already have futures. But Coinbase, the coup d'etat, the best one, we can really spell it out through Coinbase Ventures and Polychain Capital. They share a bag. This is about Polychain Capital. Their most frequent co-investor is Coinbase. And then going a step deeper, this article starts talking about this dude, Olaf Carlson. Before he started Polychain Capital, he was what? He was the head of risk on Coinbase. That makes him this guy. If you want to research what's going on with Polychain Capital, Kaspa, Spectral, for one, use cryptorank.io. I'm not going to bring it up because it can crash the screen. Use that website. This guy from that movie, he is Olaf Carlson. And he just basically went across the street and opened his new off the books Coinbase venture, which was a sharp move. And this guy's probably the brightest person in the room. They're not going to give us this information right now. And a lot of it depends on the stable coins, the work that the KII and Casplex is doing. Rhubarb Media, they're part of Casplex, teamed up with Ice River, and they're going to open a whole new branch of assets on Kaspa, not just meme coins, because with that comes the Joe for AVAX. You know, the Joe token is a utility token, so you can swap things around on the AVAX chain. As the bull market takes place during the distribution phase, looking at the Bitcoin chart, the distribution is going to last a while, and this is going to be Kaspa's time to shine, is during distribution. So the first peak, February, paralleling exactly with the secret sauce charts that we looked at. And this distribution lasts for a while. It's over a year of distribution. So Kaspa has a year with Casplex and the KII, focusing on Casplex to create these meme coins, the Kaspa utility coins. Once Kaspa, if you don't want to do meme coins on Kaspa, don't. I'm probably not going to. I'll do the utility coin that's behind swapping the Kaspa meme coins into Kaspa stable coins, bringing it all together with this map. The Visa, the PayPal, the Tangem, the stable coins, the BlackRock, all of it. Moving parts need to happen before Coinbase steps up. A lot of other things have to get into taking place with stable coins. And then that's the next stage in evolution. Once Kaspa's on Coinbase, it's going to be too late. I mean, it won't be, but we'll be so early. I mean, it's going to be rocketing. That's when you're going to be seeing Kaspa on television like it is already in Europe. It's just going to go bonkers. The Patreon is only $47. So amazing value, friendly price. You will grow as a trader so much by joining. All the information that you really want. Remember, over the past 450 days, every single trader has been trying to show their trades and prove their tactics, methods, and skills are the best. Humbly boasting, this channel has made more gains than anybody else by using that secret sauce with the bond market chart in combination with technical analysis. Flashback to last year. May, Powell is getting on the stage and he raises rates, meaning that they're going to pay more for those bonds. Obviously, the market makers are going to buy them if they're going to get more money on their staking. That takes money away from crypto. What happened, and this shows the last year's cycle winners, guys that are like, I made $1 million last year, and all their picks are failing right now. All the legacy cryptos, the AVAX, they're basically dead even. The ICP, dead even to right here, to that May meeting, the last time that he adjusted rates. Because the M2 was, they were printing money. Money was increased by 50%, and a lot of that just went into crypto. You could have just thrown a dart at the board and got a 50x, 100x. The strategies and tactics, not just the Peach Fuzz Mafia, but even Crypto Banter. Rewind back to May of 2023. He said that because Powell raised rates, it was bullish. Altcoin Daily, they were like, it's time, load your bags. Every creator used this as a buy signal. We started uploading before that because we were waiting to short off of it. We shorted AVAX particularly, and after this massive drop to the downside, rolled that into Kaspa. So we got a 2x, and then Kaspa, based on its bond reaction right around this June FOMC meeting, the altcoin market dumps harder than it did off of the May news. It's dumping into this next one brutally. Here's the Kaspa FOMC meeting. It's just moving sideways, and then it starts to go up, and it's like, okay, right now it's on loading the bags with Kaspa, 2 cents and under. And then we've gotten all these great leverage trades. We got the 10x leverage trade right here, just on the main channel. We didn't even open a VIP. We felt that you had to prove your merits before you can go around. Like Sepro comes on, he's got a VIP instantly. His best picks are Hello Labs and Lit Labs. I mean, they're both just staring you in the face, rug pulls. And just off this last dip, we actually were able to predict that it would be an inverse head and shoulder and get everybody in cold storage here and leverage trades here that actually survived the carry trade. The repeating trendline system offers amazing insight into technical analysis. The wick-off method has been adapted into crypto. The wick-off method is all about finding when things are descending. Then they have a lateral bounce signaling the breakout. This is exactly what we did on this prior downtrend, noting the gravitational field, the farthest distance away. Once it started breaking free of its gravitational field right around 12 and a quarter, that's when the breakout started. It's a reinventing of the wick-off method, and we're using that again right now, combining it with the secret sauce and everything to figure when we're going to escape this repeating downward trend line. How good of a value can we get on the low? When and if we should enter any shorts, swing trades across the market like Matrix Fire, which was the best swing trade you could have made, 10 million market cap and up since the BOJ wick down. And it's still ripping to the upside. So in time, Coinbase is an eventuality. A lot of it has to do with regulations. With this particular listing, because it's so US based, there is a little bit of politicalness tied with it. But one of the candidates was saying, I'm going to fire Gary Gensler on my first day. Both candidates have people in place that are lobbying to get their hands on this bubble. This is what it's all about. This is your secret sauce. Make sure you check this out and compare it to all your crypto as well as FOMC meetings. We take that to the next level inside VIP. Sit tight, guys. We're all going to get super rich with Kaspa. Thanks for checking out this stream. We'll catch you on the next one.